and supported by...
And there he comes, the man with many keys.
That's me, bro.
Safwani.
One more critical key, and I'll be the most comfortable man. A key to my own home.
That's the one key you need. Just talk to the mortgage expert.
Republic Bank?
Oh, yeah. When you sign on to Republic Pension-Backed Mortgage, you can own a home before you retire, you know.
Republic Pension-Backed Mortgage, right?
It is fantastic. Good thing is, you get to use your Tier 3 pension contributions.
Wow. Soon, I'll also be a landlord.
For further info on Republic Pension-Backed Mortgage, contact Republic Bank now. Republic Bank, we are the one for you.
BBC Industries are the producers of Leyland Paint. Finest paint with its quality has the finest prices, home charm, wonder coats and gold paint. Leyland Paint has changed the label design to a new one. But remember, it is the same quality since 1964.
Sunset Hotel has the best of accommodation, air-conditioned rooms to make your stay a memorable one. Sunset Hotel has introduced a live band session every Friday, Saturday and Sunday from 5 p.m. right till 10 p.m. which comes with a massive discount on our food, especially on our local dishes like fufu with a buno going for 20 Ghana cedis. Sunset Hotel Live Band, there is nothing like it. Let's meet this and every weekend for your weekend's relaxation. We are located at Cedar Crescent at Denyame. Call us on 0207 228 455.
Music from Sam Smith, and it's music titled I'm Not the Only One. And indeed, you are not the only one who has life today, who is thankful to God for the blessings upon his or her life. It's a beautiful day, and let's give praise and thanks to the Lord God Almighty. It's our prayer that all your endeavors go well for you. This is Love in the Morning, and it's on Love 99.5 FM. Now, the Ghana National Fire Service is 60 years old. Do we say a hooray to the Ghana National Fire Service? Well, they are 60 years old. Now, the primary aim of the Ghana National Fire Service is established in the 1963 by Act 2019 or 219. It was a firefighting. It was established to fight fires and extinguish fires, and also to render humanitarian services. Now, subsequently, in 1997, the Ghana National Fire Service Act 537 was enacted to re-establish the Ghana National Fire Service with the objective of prevention and management of undesired fires and other related matters. So, as they celebrate their 60th anniversary, or the 60 years in existence, I'm talking about the Ghana National Fire Service. What do you make of their services to the nation so far within the last 60 years? What do you make of their services to the nation? Are you pleased with it, or you're displeased with it? Are you satisfied, or you're unsatisfied? I've got 3 fire officers with me. Your questions will be answered by them. So what would you want to say to them as they celebrate 60 years in existence? Our WhatsApp number is 055-1111-995. That's our WhatsApp number. Again, it's 055-1111-995. Would you want to wish them well? Do you have a question for them? What do you want to say to the Ghana National Fire Service? We are live as I speak on Facebook on LUV 99.5 FM, so you can join us also on Facebook and share or drop comments there. But let's say something to the Ghana National Fire Service as they celebrate 60 years in existence. Now, Leo, did you know that before they came into existence, we were using the Asafo companies to quench fires? Did you know that?
No, but
so yesterday I decided to read about the National Fire Service.
What was that for companies?
Oh, that's what I said. You are like that's for the military people.
Yeah, the military people. Yeah.
They were the ones that were fighting fires in the olden days.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's like that throughout history. So yeah. But I had no idea like that was what's transitioned into.
So let me give you some information then, and not just for you, for myself, and of course to our listeners. I had a chance on this yesterday, and I was excited about it because in the pre-colonial era, before the existence of the fire service, fires were controlled by the traditional rulers, using the Asafo companies, that is the traditional soldiers, to fight all kinds of fires in their communities and localities. Now, it was not until 1955 before the colonial government found the need to reorganize the various Asafo companies into vibrant groups to tackle both domestic and bush fires, as there were only a few industries at the time. Now, with the restructuring of the political administration of the Gold Coast into local government concepts, a lot of the members of the Asafo companies opted to become employees of the local government institutions in the country. In time, the responsibility of firefighting became a duty of the police force as towns developed into municipalities, municipal councils, as well as some government agencies with the fire hazards formed their own fire brigades. Now, the idea of the National Fire Service was conceived in 1955 when the colonial government invited one Mr. S.M. Charters, they call him ORE, of Her Royal Majesty's Inspectorate of Fire Service into the country, and to, among other things, advise on the organization and establishment of fire service in the municipalities and in certain urban towns. Now, in 1962, the government of Ghana employed the services of a fire advisory expert, Mr. J.S. Leader, under the United Kingdom Ghana Technical Assistance Program to help formulate a policy on the formulation of a national fire service, which had long been, contemplated. In 1963, by an Act of Parliament, Fire Service Act 1963, Act 219, the Ghana National Fire Service was born from the then fragmented railways, ports and harbours across City, Kumasi City, and the secondary Takoradi Municipal Fire Brigades. These brigades had hitherto existed as separate entities under government departments or municipal councils. So 1963 it was formed, and that's how come they're celebrating 60 years of their existence. Now, the primary aim of the Ghana National Fire Service, as it's established in 1963 by Act 219, was firefighting and extinguishment, and to render humanitarian services. Subsequently, in 1997, the Ghana National Fire Service Act 537 was enacted to re-establish the Ghana National Fire Service with the objective of prevention and management of undesired fires and other related matters. And the purpose of Act 537 was to expand the functions of the Ghana National Fire Service, taking into cognizance modern trends in the fire services all over the world, from fire intervention to fire prevention and safety. I'm wondering how they're able to prevent fires. Because
when people are very irresponsible in
So, to help us with this conversation as they celebrate their 60 years in existence, I have ADO2 Mesa Atta Ahin. He is with the PR unit at the Ghana National Fire Service here in the Ashanti region. ADO2, good morning to you.
Good morning. ADO1.
ADO1, eh?
Yes.
Okay, so, well, I was given ADO2. So, not to make a mistake, Kwabena, you are ADO1 or ADO2?
ADO2.
You are ADO2.
Yes,
so, he is a OIC Fire Safety, KNUSC Fire Service. So, ADO2, Kwabena Enim, good morning to you and thanks very much for your time.
Good morning, sir.
Samuel Apia Kubi, are you ADO1 or ADO2?
ADO2.
You are ADO2. Yes. He is also with the OIC Inspectorate at KNUSC Fire Station. Gentlemen, good morning to you. And congratulations to you as you celebrate your 60 years in existence.
Thank you. Thank you very much, sir.
So, how's it feeling like, for you guys? I know that when the fire service was established in 1963, you guys were nowhere near the fire service. Maybe some of you were not even born. I mean, you were all born. You're all born. So, with 60 years in existence, how's it feeling like, between the service personnel and the Ghana National Fire Service?
David, we feel very proud. Just as you said, back in the days where the SAF companies were used to fight fires. I remember when I came in, I was told even then the tenders that were brought in were just some small Land Rovers. Okay, but now you could see that we have the likes of PS, Volvos that can take up to 2,005 liters of water and all that. Now we have extrication machines that makes our work even more easier. So we are very proud, and with numbers, as in the stats, the fires we record, because of some interventions or educations that we do, now the fires are even coming down more. So we are very proud. We know we are doing a very good job, especially in Ashanti.
Did I hear it's a very good job?
Yes.
Okay. I just wanted to be sure. no pound of malice intended.
Sure.
You're doing a very good job. Listeners, we agree with him when he says that, and he is the ADO1 Mesa Ahin. He says the fire service in Ashanti region are doing a very good job.
Yeah.
Do you agree? Well, I've seen videos, I've seen pictures of people, venting their anger on fire service personnel. So we'll be talking about that as we go on this morning. But do you agree with him when he said they've done a very good job? Let's hear from you. Our WhatsApp number, like I said, is 055-1111-995. Let me throw my next question to you, ADO2, Kwabena Enim. Within 60 years of existence, how would you say, not what he said, how would you say you've performed?
Yeah, our performance has been very good. Yes, to me. Okay. Because I've been in the Ashanti region for the past 20 years. And looking at our functions, how we perform our functions, people have put their investment into a lot of properties. And these properties, it is our mandate to protect such properties. And most of these properties, a lot of them have not insured their properties. But in as much as we have various inspections, we do advise and then inform them as to what to do to protect such properties.
Is it just about advising them? Because I know that one of your mandates is to ensure that when they're putting up the buildings, they go for a fire service certificate. And the certification has a lot of things in it. It entails a lot of things that will ensure that they do the right thing. Are you enforcing that? You're not.
One thing is that, especially, most of them put up these properties without even informing the fire
But your job is to identify these buildings when they are being put up, and then ensure that the right things are done by the people who are building the houses.
Nowadays, even the assemblies are also assisting us in that regard.
I know, but what I'm saying is that you have failed in that regard, haven't you?
Not at all. I would say you have failed. Not at all.
But if you are to ensure that is done, and somebody is putting up a house, and you don't go in there to ensure that the person has a fire safety certificate and all that in place, you have failed in that regard.
We haven't. David, you haven't.
We haven't.
Explain to me why you say you have not.
You see, quite recently, I was even part of a task force that went about inspecting people's certifications. And just as you said, our mandate, LI 1724, gives us the power to inspect every building. So before you put up, you live in a block, you are supposed to come to the fire service.
And we don't come.
You don't come.
I didn't even come. When I was putting up a house, I didn't come.
And you see, now we have a new LI. I know you are aware about it. LI 2249. That makes it mandates every person, whether you've gotten your money and you are putting up a building. So any domestic house to where you live. So very soon you'll be seeing people with armbands and what have you coming into our houses.
To do what exactly?
To make sure your house is safe. Tell you to bring your how do you call it? Your building plans to fire service. In as much as you've already put up the building, you have to ensure that certain things are put in place. One, we make sure your escape means of escape is there. So when we talk of means of escape, we talk of the emergency routes, the exits, and all that. So even our corridors, our doors.
What if I don't bring it? What happens?
Now, when you don't bring it, because it's an LI, you flouted the law. And now, very soon, the Safety Directorate is bringing out a task force that is going to be going around, and we are going to issue sort of a warning. And so now we come with is there an ugly face or pretty faces preaching the gospel. But then very soon,
what does it also, if the person does not comply, what are the sanctions that would apply?
Now, when you do not comply, this is how it goes. We send you the first letter. We give you a caution.
Okay.
That come to the fire service and let us review your plans. The second caution goes, and the third one you hear from the lawyers.
So what's the
going to court?
What's the span between the first caution and the second caution? Is it 3 months? Is it 6 months? What's the duration?
So it's 3 months.
Okay.
Then the next one goes to a month. So the third one you see us in court.
So if I come in, for example, I bring it to you and you realize that I don't have some proper exits routes there in my house that I've already built, what would you do?
So that's where the engineers in the inspectorates comes in.
And do what? They ask me to break and construct an exit.
If there's the need to, you have to.
Will you give me money to break it? Because
that's why at the initial stage you have to come to fire service for us to look at your plans and then advise you on that.
You and I know that human beings as we are, the laws are there. If we don't enforce them, we will not comply with them.
Sure.
So it's for you to go around and ascertain for yourself whether people who are building have gone through the necessary rudiments or procedures for them to be able to do what they have to do. But I'm happy that at least you're saying that even if the person has already built, you're going to roll out these things. When is it starting?
So it has already started. But then there are certain things we as in the fire service and institution have to provide before it's fully rolled out. Like the extinguishers, the smoke detectors,
for
and
free?
what have you.
They're giving them for free?
It's not for free.
It's not for free.
It's not for free. I think from what I know in the LI, although the terms are not that complete, but then when we roll it out, it's for free. But then in servicing it, that's where some small charges.
Oh, you give the extinguishers out for free?
Sure.
But when you have to service it, then you come at a cost.
Exactly.
What about the fire detectors, the smoke detectors? Would that also be given for free?
Yes.
Now I can smile. It's for free, now I can smile.
But then the servicing these things would come.
Some of them will use the smoke detectors, the fire detectors would have batteries in there.
Yes.
So I need to just buy batteries and I'm good to go.
Sure.
But you mentioned again and that you think that you've done a very good job within the last 60 years. ADO2 Samuel Apia Kubi, let me throw my next question to you. I mean, you've had residents say, for example, that fire service for job massive. Or from some they will delay, they will not come on time. Sometimes we call them, it took about 1 hour or 1 hour 30 minutes before they came in. And even when they came in, you were saying that you have new, tenders that take over 2,000 gallons of water. But they came in, there was no water in the tender. You've heard those comments.
Yes.
There are occasions where residents have even had kind of altercations with the fire service. How do you respond to that? You're saying that you've done very well within the last 60 years. Here we are in this modern era, 2023. People are still having challenges with your services.
Okay, thank you so much. I would say emphatically that these are not true. Yes, the reason being that if you come to a station, even if we have a tender that is faulty, there is water in the tender. Now, this is what happens. When we are called for incidents, we go with water in the tender. After the incident, on returning to station, it is very important to replenish before you come to the station. So there can't be a situation whereby we move to a scene without water. Now, what happens is that most of the time, when an OIC gets to the scene, assessing the scene, maybe he would
What is OIC?
Officer in charge of the queue.
All right.
Yes, maybe he will need extra water because looking at the capacity of the tank and then the water, the fire at hand, he would have to call for assistance. And so sometimes they will set up and start to fight the fire while they radio for assistance.
Samuel Kubi, are you saying to me that all the instances, all the cases where we've had people complain that fire service came without water in the tender, none of it is true?
No. It is never the case. Oh, for sure, sir.
They are there with fire gutting their premises or their property. You come and you start pumping your water and nothing comes out, or it comes out for like a minute or two, and then you say Asa, and you're saying that they're lying, or they're not telling us the truth.
You see, the thing is, we come with water, but like he said, the capacity. Sometimes the fire demands more water.
So you go there with half full tank.
It is never the case. We go there with full tank.
So listen, those are the concerns of people.
Let's do this. David, let me give you an instance. I know you've seen the video. There was a video, running on social media. A fire tender had come to extinguish.
I think it was
the
Daban area or something. Yeah.
No, it was a vehicular fire, and they got there, and people started videoing the officers because they were carrying buckets of water from the appliance.
That was the Daban area. Yeah.
Exactly. So this what happened. The appliance, as in the tender, the pump that runs, that transflows the water. When the engine breaks down, you cannot access any water in there.
When the engine breaks down, so you cannot pump the water.
You cannot pump the water.
So when you move the tender,
so you can move the tender to the fire scene, and on reaching there, the pump can fail.
That's the first time I'm hearing this.
Yes, and mind you, the last time, if my memory serves me right, the last time we got tenders was somewhere about, is it 2015 or 2012?
Oh, so I'm happy that you tell, because it's one of the questions I wanted to ask. Because I remember not long ago, my colleague Erasmus Saridonko did a story where we realized that you were doing Pakpakpa movement. So you move some parts from this fire tender that's broken down, you use the part to fix this other fire tender, and then you pick another tender that is broken down entirely, and then you fix another one.
So performing miracles.
It's not about miracles. so I wanted to really find out from you how well resourced you are. And I also wanted to find out when last you received fire tenders. You're saying 2012, somebody's also saying 2015.
Yes.
When exactly did you receive the last?
So the last one that came were, I think, the Man Diesel.
No, was it 2012 or was it 2015?
2015. Yeah.
2015.
So the PS came somewhere around 2012. Then the Man Diesel 2015.
So this MBP administration has never given the fire service any tender?
As in when they came.
They've been on from the one election 2016.
I think
2017.
That was on was it Friday or Thursday? No. Last week. Last week, Friday or Thursday. That was when one of an RIV that they are trying to procure.
They are now doing the
exactly. So we have one right now in the system that they are trying out.
Only one. Is it in this region?
No. It's in Accra.
I said it baby Accra. Yeah, Accra. But so how well resourced is the Ghana National Fire Service for the Ashanti region? How well resourced are you? For example, tell me how many stations you have, how many tenders you have.
So I can confidently say that we have 25 stations that have appliances. Okay, and it's only one that the appliance have broken down.
Which station is that?
That's KNUST.
KNUST.
Yes.
Oh, their appliance is broken down.
Yes.
Their tender. So they don't have a tender.
So they don't have a tender.
And they serve which communities?
So they Oforikrom going to Oforikrom municipality.
So if there's a fire outbreak in any house,
we'd have to call
Oforikrom. Then you have to call
the nearest station.
Atosu Chapatre.
If you call Atosu Chapatre, and they also have to go to a different area at Chapatre,
so then we have to call the nearest.
That is why you delay in going to fire stations.
That's one of the
fires are.
Some of the challenges.
That's some of the challenges.
So, but why did you set
so ideally, you're supposed to get one fire station, one district, but then some districts, a fire station is serving like 2 or 3 districts. And it's a big challenge.
So how does it operate? So what? Your commanders will write to government and tell them that listen, we don't have fire tenders. They are running out. We don't have enough men. And then government says, okay, fine, we'll bring it to you. Or government says, well, pay our books. We realize that the last time you got some tenders was 2015. So let's, replenish. How does it operate?
Our buses and the transport section, the maintenance. So they do their checks, and most of our appliances are not functioning well. So they tell the government to procure us new ones.
Can you give me when maybe government was informed about the fact that you need fire tenders?
But I know they've been informed.
When? 2 years ago? 5 years ago?
I know.
You know they've been informed when?
Yes, I think even last year. Last year we had one of our directors even go on air on one of your sister stations that they are still in the process of procuring as tenders. So I know
government is aware.
Exactly.
What responses do government give to your bosses or commanders when they request for these things? Because if the last time you received something was in 2015, Charlie, that's really serious, huh?
So I actually am not privy to whatever they tell them. However, because we saw these arrivals, we think they've listened to our pleas and
so with the lack of these tenders, how are you able to fight the fight? Don't tell me about the magic bit.
You see, let me also tell you one thing, David. When you get to the training school, they tell you as a fireman sometimes you have to perform magic.
Perform magic.
Yes.
That's why you're carrying buckets of water to go quench fires.
Why won't you do that?
How effective is that?
Because
how effective is that?
It's not effective. That one I agree with you. But then, can you imagine the firefighters being there and doing nothing whilst the appliance has broken down? That's even worse.
So what, you don't service your tenders such that you get to a fire scene and the machine will not pump the water?
David, it's a machine. It can break down at any time. And moreover, we've already established the fact that
they are old ones.
Exactly.
Hey, Charlie, this is serious. So if you live in Ufurikru and there's I pray, I touch wood, there should not be any fire outbreak, but there's a fire outbreak right now. Ufurikru doesn't have a fire tender because they fall under tech.
Yes.
They don't have a fire tender.
Yes.
So you have to call Chapatre. If Chapatre's tender is faulty or is also attending fighting somewhere, then you are in trouble. Then you have to call this a Menshia. If Menshia says there's no fuel in the tender, then you're in trouble. What kind of a system are we running? And if you're listening to this, I mean, listeners, tell us how you feel about this. The Ghana National Fire Service is celebrating 60 years of its existence. And they are saying that the last time they received some fire tenders was some 8 years ago. Last time was 2015.
Yeah, so I've been corrected. It's 2016.
2016.
Yes.
So it's still 7 years ago.
So and I think that was last year too. We had some 2 hydraulic platforms.
Yes.
So that can reach to more than 10 floors. So that's the thing.
He's asking a question.
No, it's true.
Is the microphone for on? So what's the question you asked?
Yeah, about the hydraulic
platform.
Yeah, I was asking if it was in Ashanti region.
No, so in Ashanti region, we do have a turntable ladder.
Hold on.
That can
the one you say you meant the 2
hydraulics.
Platform. He's asking, do we have it in the Ashanti region?
No, we have it in Accra. Because most of our high-rise no, David, this is what I'm trying to tell you. The how do you call it?
Hydraulic?
No. The turntable ladder in Kumasi can take care of every high-rise building here. It extends to 125 feet. So that one, we don't have a problem there. But because of some of the buildings in Accra,
the sky
exactly. Yes, that's why they procure the hydraulic platforms.
Listen, I am so down this morning because you and I know that fire is a very good servant but a very bad master.
Sure.
And unfortunately, although over the years we've been trying to do a lot of education and sensitization about fire and what to do to prevent fires, we still have fires. And when they do come, we don't even have very good, what do you call it, tenders to be able to do the job. And I'm sure that your commander will be in RECSEC meetings. And if he goes to the RECSEC meeting, he might inform the regional minister about this. He's the president of our region. And so what has he done about it? Why are we in this state? Why are we in this situation? Because people have lost their lives. Properties have been lost.
Sure.
A police officer in the family died. I recall it so vividly.
Yeah.
And here we are, we're not giving necessary attention to all this. Your mandate again says that you have to go into what we call preventive fires. And I'm happy that you're talking about the smoke detectors and the fire detectors and extinguishers and all that. But one other thing that I have a concern with, and let me throw that one to you, sir, is the fact that oftentimes we hear, there's a market fire, there's this fire. And when we call you, you give us some preliminary information as to what you think might have caused the fire. But you tell us again that you are doing what? Investigations. When you are done with the investigations, we don't hear anything from you. The report that you put together, whether 2 or 4 pages report, we don't see anything. Now, such reports will help us all get to know how to prevent future fires. So when you go into investigations and their findings are available, where do you take them to?
So
what do you do with them?
So this is how a report works, even with our domestic houses. So your place get gutted with fire. You write to the fire service that you need a report. That is not so with public places. So let's take Central Market or KJTR Market, for example. So the those who take care of the place would write to fire service. We prepare a report, and because of the sensitive nature of our reports, we only give copies to those who
it may concern or matter.
Exactly.
What is sensitive about it?
However, so when we come on radio educating, most of the times we take some of the courses we've had.
No, but let's do this. Let's stay a while longer on the report. We've had on a number of occasions the suspicion of arson. That somebody who's trading in a particular product owes people some money, cannot pay, so they intentionally would touch the market. There's a market fire. Whether it is true or not, the report should be able to tell us what happened. But you're telling me it's a sensitive document or report, so you don't share. So how do we know whether indeed it was a genuine, legitimate fire that occurred or an arson? How do we know? I mean, so what's sensitive about it? Why don't you make that information or that report available?
So that's why I say, because the owners of the facility request for them, they do have them. And I can tell you that's a fact. So you can go to KJTR.
If I should write to you and say I want a report on what caused the last fire at, let's say, KJTR, can you furnish me with a copy of the report?
I'm sure it's within your purview. This is it RIT bill? I'm sure
right information.
Exactly. So I'm sure it's within your purview to write.
But if I don't write to you and I ask you as a friend, what caused the fires, you don't tell me?
I might.
Officially or unofficially?
Unofficially.
How do we use some of these fires to educate people so we don't have subsequent fires?
We do. So we come on air during education. Sometimes we do tell you these are some of the causes of fires in our markets. But then we don't actually pinpoint whether it's KJTR, whether it's Aonlaga, whether it's Asafo or what have you. But then we do pinpoint some of these things.
Well, in case you just joined us, listeners, we're grateful to you. You're listening to Love in the Morning. And the Ghana National Fire Service is celebrating 60 years of its existence. Well, they said for the past 60 years, they have done a very, very, very good job.
Very good job.
You have heard them again. Do you agree or disagree? Now, as they celebrate their 60th anniversary, what would you want to say to them? What questions do you have for them? Unfortunately, the last time they had some fire tenders, we're told was what? 2016. So which means that for the past 7 years, we don't have fire tenders. Now, most of their fire tenders have broken down. Most of them, am I right, have broken down?
In Kumasi, no. In Ashanti region, no. Just one.
There's what?
Just one.
Only one has broken down.
That's
so in total, how many fire tenders do you have?
So in Ashanti region, we have 25.
You have 25 fire tenders. They are all working efficiently, effectively, very well.
Exactly.
In very good condition.
In very good condition, as I speak.
As you speak?
Yes.
Unfortunately,
No,
one of them. They are old.
Yeah.
Although they went to a fire scene and one of the machines refused to work, so they had to carry buckets of water. So if you go, this is not improvisation, because if you go to a place where they have, let's say, 5-story building, and the fire is at the top floor, you carry buckets of water and say you're doing magic.
So they, you see, that's where the certifications and permits comes in.
We don't have it, but there's a fire outbreak. And 5th floor, your tender gets to the place, the tender is not pumping the water.
That's where I tell you are now doing a very good job. Well, I can tell you on authority, there is no 5th floor building in Kumasi that doesn't have a fire certificate. And that doesn't have the hose rails, the fire extinguishers.
You remember when the KJTR fire, the last fire occurred? Yeah. You worked deep into the night.
Yeah.
Do you see how people were jumping from the top floor down? Yeah. They had to tie ropes to mago cloths. They had to tie them to descend. The fire service didn't have an equipment or a ladder to help them descend. And you're telling me that what?
We have.
But we saw people jumping from the 3rd floor of the market.
David, you see, it's human nature. The people were scared.
If the fire response was quick and you had the right machines,
it was very swift.
Listen, I'm telling you. Listen, you are listening to them. You've seen what is happening around us. Let's hear what your thoughts are. Well, you agree with them? Or you disagree with them?
I remember. Was it this year? Early this year, we had a simulation exercise at KJT, the same place. The turntable ladder is such a huge vehicle that when it's coming, you need
Space.
yes, the whole road. I remember we were at Kumasi Metro. The turntable ladder was coming, and a taxi driver was in the middle of the road asking the turntable ladder where it's going.
Because sometimes some of the fat tenants we're not Okochoba.
David.
Some of them are going to just eat. So when it gets to Choba, then
that's a lie.
It's one of the misconceptions.
So what are you doing to improve what you do so that the misconceptions that people have about your services will improve? But before you even answer that question for me, as what you're doing to improve, you're talking about fire certification before we build houses and all that. KJT Market, does it have the fire certification?
KJT Market.
It was having.
Yes, the last time, I think before the incident.
It's not about before the incident.
No, I'm trying to build. Now I don't know. I won't sit here and tell you whether well, it's having a fire certificate, but then they've not been renewing it. I think
it was not renewed because some of the safety protocols was being undermined. So they decided not to.
But again, it's your job to ensure that whether it has to be renewed, whether it's been undermined and everything, you have to ensure that the right.
Yeah. So apparently before the incident, the fire service has written to the managers of the market. I think that was the second letter before the incident happened. So the third one would have been a strike.
Taking them to court.
A strike, serious.
What do you say strike? What do you mean by that? Taking them to court?
Yes, that's what I'm saying. So the third one would have been that. And you were privy to, David, I know you were privy to some of this. You are privy to some of these informations.
So far this year, what would you say the statistics looks like? I mean, comparing it to last year, where in August, today is the 24th. Yeah. Are we doing better by way of fire prevention, firefighting, or we're doing worse? What's the situation like?
So comparing last year, that's in the half of the year. So we are doing 581 fires. That's in from January to June. And we did 700 fires last year, meaning it came down to like 17%, 119 fires. That's why I'm saying we are doing very well. The stat speaks for itself. We are doing very, very well. David, it's not easy to even bring down a fire by one. And what I'm even proud of is the bushfires. We're mostly in Ashanti region. We have a lot of bushfires. But then during that period, we were able to bring down the bushfires, the numbers by 76.
Listen, if you join us on Facebook, we're saying that this is KJT Market, a very, very modern market. And there's a fire outbreak, and there's the means by which people are descending. And we're told that they have a fire certificate at the market. Listen, join us on Facebook, and I appreciate the conversation. The Ghana National Fire Service are 60 years old. 60 years old. They say they've done very, very well. This is what we're doing. This is risky. This is dangerous. This should not happen
at all.
This should not happen
at all.
Listen, maybe you've forgotten about it. Join us on LUV 99.5 FM and see for yourself.
I can tell you people there were panicking too.
But if there's a fire station at the KJT,
there's a station at KJT.
Post. It's a post.
A post, sorry. Yeah.
Whether post, whatever. So if that office and the officials were swift, they could have calmed the nerves of the people, could have done something, because even with the magnitude of the market, we should have a fire tender with a ladder that can help people descend.
So, David, when this was happening, that one is a fact, and I can tell you. When I don't know, I don't know. But when this was happening, I can tell you the firemen that were at the post were concentrating on the fire.
Not the human beings.
No, is it the first floor? First floor. It was on the first floor. So those at the other side, the fire women, the ladies, were calmly evacuating them. However, those behind, this was even on the last floor.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
The first floor.
Yeah.
Oh, the second floor, sorry. So why were they? So I'm telling you, they were panicking.
So let's go back to.
It wasn't because they were immediately in danger.
Exactly.
But they were just panicking. That's why they did what they did.
Well, you can see, but the thing was on the first floor. Okay. There was no way it was going to spread.
But if there were no smoke or no fire, they would have used the staircase.
Yes.
But because there was fire and smoke, they were not prepared to use the exit. Look at smoke that is coming. And you say that you say there's no fire. Look at the smoke.
No. That's what I'm telling you.
Why would they not use the staircase?
It was on the first floor.
Question is,
yes,
if there was a matter of they panicking, they could have used the staircase for exit.
Yeah.
But because there was danger where they were, this is what they had to do to exit.
I'm also telling because I was there.
But what I'm seeing is what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know.
What I'm seeing is
I know.
It's what I'm. But let's go back to. Our listeners have seen it on Facebook anyway. Let's go back to our conversation about the statistics. You're saying that you were done better this year by some 17%.
Yes.
Half year last year compared to half year this year, we're done better by some 17%.
Yes.
What do you think accounts for it?
So the education. I remember now. That was last year when myself and my boss we were here.
DO3 died. He's a bit under the weather.
Yes.
Speedy recovery, sir.
Yeah. So we had some street evangelisms. We really intensified the education.
You think it's working?
It's really
so as you celebrate your 60th anniversary, I know one of the things you've decided to roll out is as a fire safety week.
Yes.
We started on Monday.
On Monday.
What is a fire safety week? What are you doing?
Okay, so fire safety week is basically to sensitize fire safety. And so what we are doing is that we go out into the marketplaces, the roadsides, to talk more about fire safety. You see, it has come to our realization that the average Ghanaian thinks of security more than safety. And so our mandate is to more or less like propagate the gospel of fire safety, to make sure that in our homes, in our workplaces, we consider fire safety as a necessity.
So when you go out, what exactly do you share? What do you tell them? Let me ask you that question. You do you too.
Yeah.
What exactly do you do?
Now, fire safety is a shared responsibility. So the populace, they have a role to play. We also have a role to play. Our role to play is to sensitize them, create the awareness. And if they are able to go by the safety protocols, they will live in an environment of fire-free. So we've been to the various markets around the Fulcrum to talk to them and then giving them fire preventive measures to go by. We've been to the various streets. Even today, from here, we will also start that one, street sensitization. We want to talk to the drivers and the passengers as well. We want to get that number of the people living within the Fulcrum. So even last year, the reason why we were able to bring down the fire outbreaks, we segmented the Fulcrum municipality into 4 zones where our personnel were deployed to go for house-to-house education, meeting the religious bodies and other activities that was programmed. So I think it went well with them.
I see.
So
one thing that I learned that has been on my mind, in terms of preventing fire, is the fact that for those of you who use this batteries, the ones that we put in remote controls.
Yeah.
I'm told that when you put those batteries in a drawer, and there are some coins in there as well, the coin can easily trigger the battery can trigger a fire because when they come to contact,
any metallic contact.
So the battery's in there. When they come to contact with any metallic object, they can
with time
they can trigger a fire.
Exactly.
And it's been on my mind for so long. So if you're listening to me, for nothing at all, if you have any AC battery, the batteries for your remote control and all that, make sure you don't have any metallic thing in there. So if it's a drawer and all that, make sure you don't have batteries in there.
That's why even on the batteries, they tell you to dispose it of after.
We don't read those things. We don't read those things.
They tell you how to recycle and all that.
We don't read them.
So as I'm pointing them, if you have those batteries with coins, you can, after removing the drawer, you see some corrosion, rusting. It's also a form of combustion, but it's a slow combustion. So it can trigger.
So David, there's the program outline for the week. So on Monday, we had a lunch at Accra, and that was yesterday. We had other various media engagement. Today, that was yesterday. On Wednesday, we had a quiz at Accra too. And
from Accra.
Then today there will be various inspections at national installations and mini.
When you say national installations, what exactly? What do you mean, and what are you inspecting? What are you doing?
So in our markets where the public uses.
So you're going to do what?
So we are going there to check whether the certificate we gave them maybe the beginning of the year, whether what we expect of them, they are doing them. Well, most of the times, we've been to installations where you give them certifications. When you are coming for inspections, they know. Okay, so then they put everything in order. The moment you leave, they take especially with the hostels, then they take the extinguishers, go and keep them somewhere. The reason being that the students likes playing with them, punching them and making all sort of jokes with it. So now we are going unannounced and making sure these things are here. Yeah. So on Friday we're going to the mosque, markets. Then on Saturday you'll have a meeting with event centers, clubhouses, the drinking sports and what have you. Then on Sunday you visit the churches.
You visit the churches,
yeah.
And then on Sunday evening there'll be a party. You're 60 years old.
You need a party, yeah. Then we can't sponsor the party.
I'm asking.
No. We will not be having a party.
No party. I hear you. Listeners, you can call us on 03220-83596, 03220-83597, or 03220-83598. Now, you've heard them. They're celebrating 60 years of their existence, and they are saying that they have done very, very well. Do you agree or you disagree? Do you agree or disagree? As they celebrate 60 years of their existence, what do you want to say to them? Is this something that would help them do better than they're doing right now? What do you want to say to them? So call us on 03220-83596, 03220-83597, and 03220-83598. One thing I like is about the fire certificates that you say you're going to roll out. Yeah. It's a very good thing, and I would support it any day. The smoke detectors, the fire detectors, the fire extinguishers, which of course are coming for free. But I think that we need to have a clause in there. If you don't meet some standards, you don't get these things. So the agreements, the documents, they are drawing it out. So definitely. So let's go on to the phone lines. We have 3 callers on the line right now. We have Kwame, we have Nana Kweku, and we have Kofi. Kofi came through first. So Kofi, let's give you the opportunity to begin the conversation for us on the phone lines. Good morning and welcome.
Yeah, good morning. And Dave, I must say that truly, fire service have done very, 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 very well. Had it not been fire service in the system, many lives and properties will have been lost. This is not to say that all that they have done is good, but in percentage terms, they have done very, very well. My problem is the man in the studio who has stayed in Kumasi for good 20 years in fire service. Did they have transfer system in the fire service? I want to ask him, can't he go on transfer?
Good morning, and let's hear you.
Good morning. Okay. What I'm going to do might not sound well to some listeners because they seem to think that I not one political party or the other. You see, it's time Ghanaians we take our destinies into our own hands. You ask the question, how many tenders have been acquired? My brother, up somewhere, when there's a fire and then there is more or less an emergency, a fire tender and an ambulance comes in, you are taxed for it, you pay. Whoever made that call and they come to assess you or they come to service you, you pay for it. It's hard time we start introducing that in Ghana here. When you call a fire service, you are billed for it. You pay for it because it's hard time that we stop this thing that everything goes to the government. The government needs to provide toilets. The government needs to provide fire services. Everything to the government. Government it's hard time those living in society who have money should contribute. Put down something. Start contributing to fire service, and as well, let's all contribute to make fire service. Other than that, the government can't do anything. Please, if the government or the show, let's start contributing. Whoever calls for fire service, we contribute so that it forms more or less a large kitty, and then let's use our station. We'll be buying sanitary parts. Fire service, please, next year. If your one thing is just for, at least you may be able to contribute. I know David will spearhead it and they will contribute to provide and buy it for you. To put some and put them something application.
And that's why. But there are essential and emergency services. I'm wondering where in this world people will be paying for these things. I'm cross-checking. I'll be Googling it up. Kwame, good morning and welcome, sir.
Good morning, David, and thank you. David, correct me if I'm wrong. Technically, I know fire tender comprises two main things: a tank holding water and a high pressure pump. Why can't we assemble these two things easily so that we can have a more cost-effective fire tenders in the system?
When you say assemble, are you saying that we should bring them down like the Toyotas and the Volkswagens come and we assemble things here? Or you're saying that we should give it to, let's say, the magazine people to do something for us? I want to understand what you mean by that, sir.
David, it is what I mean. I know we have a lot of water tankers around. And if it is true that a tender comprises these two major items, a tank holding water and then a pump. We have several pumps in the system, and we have several tanks holding water in the system. And if these are the two main things that we need, then I believe that as a country, we should be able to put these things together so that we have a lot of fire tenders in the system.
Thank you, Kwame. So they are here, they are noting it down. They'll give you a response before they take leave of us. Kwame, grateful to you for calling us. 03220-83596, 03220-83597, 03220-83598. I can see George on the line on my monitor here. Kwabena is also there. So let me start off with George. George, good morning and welcome, sir.
Good morning, David. How are you?
I'm well. Ghana Fire Services, they're 60 years old, so they're celebrating.
David, I wish them a 60 years birthday. David, it is 60 years. It's not easy. But David, my problem is that they are still using the Gold Coast fire tenders. So what can they do? David, it is not easy fighting fire. Even the smoke can kill you. If you are trapped in fire, it is not the fire that kills. Before the fire gets to you, you are already dead by the smoke. So, David, our leaders, not this government, the government should provide them with, the latest gadgets, instruments for them to be able to fight fire, because it is not easy fighting fire. So, they can do, anything without, fire gadgets. So, we should stop blaming them.
I hear you, George. Thanks for joining us. And I remember one fire scene where some fire officers were running away from the tanker. So it was a petrol tank that was, has caught fire.
Yeah,
and around my area.
Yeah, exactly.
Around my area. And then more fighting fire. Move join the fire. We need the protective clothing. I'm saying, hey, Ghana. Kwabena, good morning. Welcome, sir.
Good morning, David. Thanks very much for having me. I have a question. I think there's this allegation that if you require a fire report from the National Fire Service, normally if you don't pay, your report will take forever. And so I want to find out from the officers that the 60 years, how long would a normal fire service report take? So for instance, if you have your vehicle that caught fire, and we all know that these reports are subsequent for anybody making a claim in an insurance company. So if my vehicle is damaged by fire and I need a report, how long would that take? And that's actually that fire service normally would take money from you before they issue the report. If you don't pay, it takes forever. If they can respond to it, thank you.
Well, thank you very much, Kwame. So please note it down as well. Sorry, Kwabena, not Kwame. Kwabena there. Kwame came through earlier. Christoph, good morning, and let's hear your contributions.
Hello, good morning, David.
Hi, sir. Good morning.
Yes, David. I hope you are fine, sir.
Sir, I'm well.
David, I don't know who controls your call, but I've been calling and they don't pick my call. I don't know whether it's Kate or something. Please kindly educate her, please. David,
hold on, Chris, for me. Let me
Ghana Fire Service.
Chris,
and
you speak.
Share in their pride
Chris.
and in their joy as they celebrate their 60th anniversary. David, I want to challenge them that yes, they've chalked some successes and all that, but they should do more. David, they shouldn't wait till we call them that there's a problem before they come. They should aim at educating the public on the dangers of fire. We should do preventive services other than curing services. Because an ounce of prevention is better than a dozen of cure. And so to me, I don't know what ministry they are under, but they should allow them a lot of money so that they can do a lot of education for people to imbibe and assimilate those information so that we can be able to secure our properties, our houses, our factories, our stores and all that. But baby, it is not easy for you to put up a structure, for you to rent a place. And if I think that fire got it down, how will you come back again? So to me, I challenge them, they should do a lot of education and sensitization for people to understand.
Well, thank you very much, Christoph. And I know you're still doing a listening out there. I mean, let's be fair. Christoph, you've been calling us every time. And you know our telephone lines, we've mentioned like 3 or 4 telephone lines. They're all on one phone. We call it a hybrid. So when you call, it will ring. Somebody's call is also ringing. Another person's call is ringing. So the lady who is manning the telephone will pick the calls at random. So it's not like the person sees your call ringing and the person will say, I'm not picking your call. So she'll pick somebody's call. Maybe by the time she engages the person and gives him the name, your call will have dropped. And you might think that, I went through, he or she did not pick my call. So please, after all, you called and you came through. And every time you call, you come through, Chris. So have at the back of your mind that a lot of people are also calling. Everybody would have his turn. Thanks for your understanding. And of course, they are under the Ministry of Interior. That's where they fall under. Emmanuel, good morning and welcome, sir.
Hi, good morning, David. How are you?
Well, Emmanuel, good to have you, sir.
Yes. I want us to look at this issue of response to fire calls. And the real problem is not the number of fire tenders or trucks that they have, but rather the number of fire stations or depots in a particular city. You see, in theory, when fire gets a place, the maximum response time should be about 10 minutes. So the idea is that if you can respond within 10 minutes, then you might be able to put the fire under control. Now, if you don't have enough fire stations distributed within the city, such that every location is within 10 minutes call of a fire station, then when fire happens, you are likely, to have the property destroyed. Currently, as of the last time I looked at the data, Kumasi has about 6 fire stations. And if you take 49 suburbs in Kumasi and you calculate the percentage coverage, it's less than 45%, which means that just close to about 45% of locations in Kumasi are within 10 minutes call of the fire stations. And that brings me to this question to your resource persons in the studio. How do they determine where and how many fire stations a city requires so that in case of a fire, they can respond adequately? I know Ghana Fire Service has a target response time of 4 minutes. Again, if you look at the travel times among suburbs, it's only when a fire station is located within its own suburb that probably the 4 minutes can be achieved. But that target, no. There is no way Ghana Fire Service can achieve, that level of performance. So,
all right, Emmanuel, thank you very much. And we're not in the position to pick any more calls. Kate, please don't pick any more calls for us. Our time is running fast. But your response time, is it 5 minutes or 4 minutes?
5 minutes.
5 minutes.
Yes.
Elsewhere it's 3 minutes. I mean, the US, for example, 3 minutes, and they are there. And even within the 5 minutes that you're talking about, it's not 4, Emmanuel, it's 5 minutes. You don't do 5 minutes. You do 1 hour, 1 hour, 30 minutes. No. You do 2 hours and 3 hours.
No. Depending on the circumstances.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So
the traffic alone can also.
But you're supposed to go through traffic. They'll give you the space.
The traffic will be jammed.
They don't give you.
In that you can
imagine
access.
Kofanoche going for fire at Angoyan Kwanta. Even with your personal car, how many minutes do you think?
With my personal car, I don't use a siren. You have a siren.
They don't even give you away.
So get the car number and sanction them. The law says the siren should be when you have the siren. Yeah, it should give you the right of way. If they're not giving it to you, you're a force. You're a service. You're a security service as well. If they're not, the persons in the vehicle can take the number and then look for the number and then sanction them accordingly.
See, David, the state of mind of the crew when going for fire.
Multitask.
Multitask. I have seen like in other jurisdictions where they might even have
dedicated lanes.
Yeah, not the dedicated lanes, but some of these cars are equipped with a ramp at the front. If your car is in the way, they will just bulldoze it away. Do you have
no, but even that, but imagine somebody driving and it's not allowing you to move on, and there's a child in the car. He's going to bulldoze everything. Now
who knows?
In as much as you are going to help someone,
you don't do that.
You don't cause more harm.
You don't do that. But somebody was asking about the pump and the
So our tenders are specialized equipment. We do have normally when we are doing suctions, we do have these featherweight pumps we used to. But then for fighting fire, no. You need a pressure of about 12 psi to do that. So
what is psi?
That's in pressure.
Pressure.
Yes, sir. So you don't. I doubt, but then I also believe in our Ghanaian people that they can do something. It's a specialized appliance.
And then he was also asking what goes into the demarcations of or the need of fire, stations. What goes into that?
So siting a fire station, mostly the assemblies do that. We don't build. So the assembly builds a fire station, then we move in. Okay. That's why we are now championing one district, one fire station.
I'm tired of here one something. I beg you.
No, but ours is very important.
Yours is important.
So that the
all of them are important. If we roll them out,
the response time.
Let's go into our WhatsApp console and share with you what people are also saying there. Understanding.
So this one says, David, good morning. I wish the fire service a great 60th anniversary. I want to find out how they collaborate with government to situate the fire hydrants, which would augment the purported minimal water they carry in their tenders. Hydrants. Okay. He says the number of hydrants in Ghana is just insignificant. Where we have to access is blocked by wrongful placement of kiosks and stores and other stuff. How do they intend to deal with this menace?
How do you intend to deal with it?
So I agree that it's insufficient. That one is true.
And even the little we have, if you go to markets and all that,
exactly. Even at was it? Is it Angloga? No, BSC, yes. So if made the person move the structure. So what about
those in the Asafo market? Have you worked on them? Are they accessible?
Asafo market, which place? The person should give us the exact location.
No, I'm saying it because I remember some time ago I went to the market and there were complaints by the traders there that fire hydrants are for take over. It's so close to some of the shops and all that. So even when the fire service want to have access to it, they are not able to have access.
So then I'll put a check on that.
Please do.
So the second message is saying the same thing. Right. So this one is a voice message, so we can listen to it.
Good morning, David, and good morning to your listeners. About the Ghana National Fire Service, I'm at Bomso. This is from Bomso. We had a fire here around some 3-4 years ago around Ivandi stretch. You had the Ghana Fire Service coming with a fire engine. They came and they quenched the fire of 2 shops. The third shop was just started as a small fire, and their water was finished. They went and came back within some 1 hour. By the time they came back, 2 other shops have also been burned down. I mean, it was absolutely needless. Absolutely needless. You keep on having a problem over and over, shortage of water, and you cannot sort this simple thing out. It's basic, and he was blaming it that it is constantly a machine fault. It is constantly a machine fault. And another gentleman came in and he was talking about him not being transferred over 20 years. I bet you today, let him say something negative about the Ghana Fire Service, and then today, he's going to be transferred.
So as we wrap up, what will be your final words to our listeners, and what assurances would you want to give to your own staff?
And so we say I equal to all firefighters, and there's more room for improvement. We know, although we've chopped many successes, but then we think we can also do more. We also plead to philanthropists that some of our appliances are old. They should come to our aid.
When was the last time you had some philanthropists give you something? Do they?
Where? Yeah. Nana Chumahine.
Okay.
So
they do.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So You played with philanthropists to come to our aid. Right. And also, this is a plea. One of our challenges, biggest challenge, road users. They should kindly give us way when we are attending incidents.
Gentlemen, good morning once again, and thank you very much for
your
time. So now, Kate, why I called you is this. So, happy birthday to Mrs. Monica Nyameche of EcoBank, all right, Ashtown branch. It's coming from your husband Richard Kinayok. He's the regional manager for CBG Ashanti East. God bless you, madam, and may you live beyond the frequency of 99.5. All right, so one more time, happy birthday to you, Mrs. Monica Nyameche of EcoBank Ashtown branch. Also, happy birthday to you, Josephine Kidigo, and this one is coming your way from Ziggy Brown. So, Josephine Kidigo, happy birthday to you. Many thanks to you, Dr. Hussein, who is also the medical superintendent for Menshia Hospital. You're also doing the listening, as always. Thanks for tuning in. All right, so we'll be crossing over to Joy 99.7 in a bit. We're on the show this morning. We're taking a look at the MPP Delegates Conference that will be held on Saturday. Who will be making it to the final 5? Well, that's the conversation coming up your way shortly. Please stay tuned.
Restaurant, continental and local dishes. Adriani Papa Fie, Kupedia Bonsa. Makion Restaurant, continental and local dishes. Adriani Papa Fie, Kupedia Bonsa.
Makion Catering Services, ye nimu fetete, Adriani Pa, e mahode. Wedi die wieno, na wenum so daho, na die kumi krane se, e buono dafo. Makion Hotel, Nsubama Bibiada, amu wenya hoto, fully air conditioned, free Wi-Fi, and a conference hall with modern gadgets. Upewe na upedie. Makion Restaurant, Nsubecha door-to-door services. Sheshe Makion Services, ewu Kumasi Asukwa, Anase Audio. Makion ye, na ufonsu niye. Fre omu ewa matrofo iso, 0322-496-249, Anase 0244-417-446. Makion Services, 7 is what we are. Ubedia Bonsano. Ubedia Bonsano.
Aji, mensa ye titiri na ayami yaka ho. Doctor say me BP ni me sugar nyina kwosoro.
Die wuhia ne Amuzu garlic bitters.
Amuzu garlic bitters.
Ane Amuzu garlic bitters. Ewo herbal shop bia.
Hip hip hip. Thank you for my 62nd birthday. My wife and I will be traveling for our second honeymoon to Dubai. I have also decided to pay all my grandchildren's fee for the next academic year. In fact, prepare another cow and let the party continue.
What a party. Isn't Mr. Blagochi a pensioner?
Yes, so
where did he get all the money to do all that?
I heard it's because of New Generation Investment Services. They took care of his pension funds. I hear they also started the NGISM fund, which allows them to grow their investment and create wealth. They also have the Nidaso Mutual Fund, which I intend to sign on so I can sow today and reap tomorrow.
Don't be left out.
Visit us today at the first floor, Kokobo Jubilee House at Doom Kumasi, and the first floor of the first story building behind National Investment Bank, Sunyani, or visit www.ngis-group.com.
New Generation Investment Services, achieving excellent returns on your investment.
Bra na minya Royal Foam mattress no. How bebre na mikomu. Medam panosweni na atom. Na mechika seso na mehonam nyina ya meya. Na die kume kra ne se. Ya no nso beda aso ape. Na wajame. Na minya Royal Foam mattress no. Pa kwesi da aso ape. E na oye me ho ade. Congratulations dear, me fa no kwa. Asedan koma Royal Foam. Quality mattress papa fi. Oji aware Royal Foam. Wa manane relaxation ayede. Anwoto so a wunya wo mu ne se. Royal Foam mattress eye papa. Eche yie, eye quilted mattress inti. Woda so a ama wona ye foam. Se woto mattress free Royal Foam a. Seche wo free pillows. Royal Foam aje abasobode e wo 12 Ghana Business and Financial Excellence Awards no mu. Yet on quality duvets, curtains, beds, ne carpentry foams ahodo nyina bi. Hwehwe yen wo Royal Foam showrooms any sales depots a wo Ghana fa na nyina. Fre 020-227-1000. Royal Foam, rest assured.
So the essence of my praise
ride on your grace.
My name is Diana Hamilton, VGMA Artist of the Year 2021 and brand ambassador of Awake Purified Drinking Water. I am super excited to partner with Ghana's first charity-driven water to give back to our communities. Awake is a brand that makes a difference. We impact the world around us. That is why for every bottle of Awake water you buy, an amount is donated to the National Cardiothoracic Center. Yes, every time you quench your thirst with a refreshing bottle of Awake, you're helping contribute to save lives. So keep drinking Awake Purified Drinking Water and let's continue making a difference. Awake Water, one for life, supporting the National Cardiothoracic Center. This advert is FDA approved.
When shopping for a dress, you say,
of course, the low burst line, a little tight by the hips, covered sleeves, off shoulder, definitely.
But when buying anti-malarial drug, you say,
is it not malaria? Give me whatever is available.
Choose your malaria drugs the same way you choose your dress. Always ask for Coartem. It's also available in cherry-flavored dispersible tablets for children. Don't gamble with malaria. Choose right. Choose Coartem. If symptoms persist after 3 days, consult your doctor. Malaria testing should be done before treatment. This advert is FDA approved.
Wow! With the amount them have bright. Interface plasterboard ceiling. And I'm the bomb demua. Tijasano. And to where the adansi for. And a more ceiling. What you mean? Interface plasterboard ceiling. And I'm on farm demo. The bomb demo. I have first one cobra. So the interface plasterboard ceiling. About demua. And my demo yefe. Ne sounds so chair. Interface limited. And a diaba. Bomadia. Now from 0274 999999. And our website www.interfacelimited.com.
Daffy's or human new. Daffy's or human feminine mischanty. A master bosomene so Emma. Ye bui and sayente ya ubia. A san siesi man kasa. Daffy abusiana ekese. Intie their mouth for comfort and new panel. Daffy's shower gel. And pour on money. You want to dear. And a cocoa dear. What did Jaria? And my natural look.
Mesu de misu Daffy's feminine cleanse and then a capsules ne CSM. And my main think carboni be a me Jimmy who dear and cassa.
Daffy Nupano. And what dance here be Daffy sana. About my yenina.
Open the dude with Daffy's Health and Beauty. Ewo East Legon American House. Kumasen